Shalom, this is GMS Holland Sit Downs coming back with the lesson. Want to give all praises, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect out there spreading this word, the sincerity, and the truth all over the four corners of the earth. Slakia. What I want to talk about today is the economic collapse that is rendering basically the financial crisis that is upcoming, which also is gonna implement the cashless society, the mark of the beast. It's all linked together and it's all biblical prophecy. So this Friday we're gonna see the Brexit pop off. The UK is officially gonna separate himself from the EU. Now what that means is that a very important country that brings in bags of money basically is gonna leave a joint organization as the EU, because really what these governments are is organizations. So basically a big income of money is gonna be lost because of the EU, because of the UK leaving, Brexit. So in this article that you see in front of you is Merkel speaking, and she fears the leaving of Britain, man, and she says she's jealous on the Brexit. I don't know if that's in this article. But I read that also last week. So the title says, "Yeah, we Germans." Oh, damn! It's the same. Slovakia. It's the same. It's the same article. It says, "Yeah, we Germans are jealous of Brexit." Alexander von Schoenberg says his country fears Britain as they face the reality of a resurgent UK, because that has major consequences for the EU, and especially for Germany, because if you look at the EU, the UK and Germany are the main countries that uphold the EU. They are very rich countries. Like it says in biblical prophecy, the feet of miry clay and iron consist of some partly strong and partly weak. So guess what? The UK, the United Kingdom, and Germany are the strong part of this divided rulership that we live in right now. 1 hour with the beast, so to speak. So they are fearing the Brexit, man, the consequences that it's gonna have. First they were speaking on the consequences it's gonna have for the UK, but now they are fearing and speaking on the consequences it's gonna have for the EU. Like I said, a big bag of money is not gonna be coming in, from the day they leave the Brexit, the EU, Slovakia, with the Brexit. Then on top of that, of course, the United Kingdom is also in fears because new contracts need to be made. Basically, it's a new start for them. So a lot of medicines that used to come from countries within the EU now have to come from other sources, or new contracts need to be made. Me myself, I work in the infrastructure as a project leader, and what I see is that whenever a new year comes up, let's say it just became 2020, new contracts need to be made. The governments get new money to spend, so basically it takes time for everything to start up. So in the beginning of the year, a lot of people are not really doing anything. You know, what you often see in the beginning of the year is that people is gonna clean up the offices, you know, sort everything out, you know, and basically the hours that you make in the office is spent because of that. Now that's the same thing that's gonna happen with Britain. The first couple of months is gonna be months and weeks without basically jobs, man, without hours. So figuratively speaking, they're gonna have to make new contracts and new agreements on certain things. So people was already fearing for people leaving the country. Not enough police staff, you know. So they was already thinking about the military, that the military had to jump in and help the police force, basically. Medicines, sick people need their medicines, so they feel certain terrors coming up. But on top of that, the EU feels the same thing, maybe even worse, because that, like I said, that bag of money is not coming in. So it says in Germany, fears are growing that the ship of Europe is sailing troubled waters. Soon it could be dashed to the rocks. Now that's for us, man of the Lord, that's a beautiful thing to hear, man, because that's prophecy. Let me read that again. The ship of Europe is sailing troubled waters. Soon it could be dashed on the rocks. Now that's all biblical prophecy. That's all biblical prophecy. Why the anxiety? The looming impact of the looming impact of Brexit, as politicians and policy makers across the continent begin to recognize that Britain's departure represents a daunting challenge to the European project. At times it feels like cocktail hour aboard the Titanic, with the iceberg looming on the horizon. It wasn't meant to be like this. For years, EU leaders have insisted that Brexit would be a disaster for Britain, leaving your country hopelessly isolated. According to the relentless propaganda of the pro-EU cause, Europe would forge ahead on the global stage, ever more united, while the UK would slide into insularity and decline. But the narrative is starting to look like a delusion. Headed by a strong government and sustained by a dynamic economy, it is Britain that can look forward to the future with confidence, while the EU and its member states remain trapped in bureaucratic sclerosis, obsessed with regulation and welfare, when much of the rest of the world is embracing commercial freedom. So both ways. First, the UK was speaking out on the warning the people concerning troubles that they are about to face, and now in this article, basically the EU is speaking out about the troubles they're about to face because of this Brexit. Now both ways, we're gonna have to check and observe and watch for the outcome as watchmen of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, like the scripture says in Ezekiel 33. You know, but this is all biblical prophecy, and whether the EU is gonna be in trouble in the upcoming weeks, months, or the Brexit, or the UK, financial collapse is inevitable, man. Because why? It's prophecy in the scriptures. It's prophesied in the scriptures. So first, when we look at the statue that Nebuchadnezzar saw in a dream, the head being Nebuchadnezzar, being the head of gold, being the Babylonian Empire, Salakia. You know, the silver, The part of silver is the Medo-Persian Empire. The part, the thighs of brass is the Greek Empire. The legs is the Roman Empire, the iron legs, and the part feet, and the feet part clay and part iron is the society, is this government that we are under right now. Which is a divided government. Which the 10 toes represent the 10 horns that we read about in Revelation, which is basically the EU, man, the EU and NATO. Combined with the beast and the whore. So that represents the society that we are in right now. So let me go straight to the point instead of reading the gold and the silver and the iron, because I already broke it down basically. You can read it for yourself. Daniel chapter 2, the dream, the prophecy of the statue of Nebuchadnezzar. This is Daniel chapter 2 verse 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, you see the feet and toes, so it points out the toes. Now how many toes do you have on each foot? 5. 5 plus 5 is 10, which represents the 10 governments that the EU started with. It's like which Europe started with back in the Roman Empire, and now during the Renaissance came back, and became multiple states. But the base of these states, it's like the base of the European Union, was those 10 toes and those 10 horns. That's where it all comes from. If you look at if you look back at the history. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. So the strength of the iron is going to be in it, which is the strength of the Roman Empire. That is the legs of iron. So still the dominant parties within the society are parties that uphold the Roman image. The Roman image. That's why in Revelation chapter 17 you read about the eighth horn, which is of the one that is not, which is the Roman Empire. And that one was gonna rule basically, and that's what we see right now. That's America, right? And what they did in 1957 is they signed a contract which is called the Roman Treaty. So that shows you that this society is Rome all over again, man. So it says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. You see, so you got the weaker countries in Europe, Portugal, Spain, nowadays, because back in the days you had those were the stronger countries: Portugal, Spain, Greece, France. France is still pretty strong, one of the stronger countries. So that would be joined onto the iron. It's like France, the UK, Germany, Holland, Belgium. I would say Belgium is pretty dominant within this EU. But if we look at Switzerland, of course, Austria, but then countries like Poland, Italy, they're nothing, man. Czechia, Bosnia, Croatia. These are all clay. And as the toes, verse 42, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas the sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one unto another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So what we are seeing and what we are witnessing is the outcome of iron not being able to mix with clay. So guess what? The iron is about to break off this upcoming Friday, man, which is the UK leaving the European Union. So that's a very important part being broken off from this corporation that we are under. So that's the UK. Now, like I said, Germany, France, there are other countries that are strong within this European Union, but they are fearing because guess what? If you are one of the stronger and another strong man leaves, you're gonna have to carry that weight of that strong guy that left, man. If a weak guy leaves, you're not really gonna feel that, because what was he carrying in the first place? He wasn't carrying that much, So if you are carrying something heavy and a weak guy stops help carrying, you're not really gonna feel that. But if that strong guy leaves, you are gonna notice the weight, man. So Germany, France, Holland, they are about to witness the blow that is gonna the how you say it, the result of the UK leaving. That's why Merkel and Germany is already panicking. So this is how can I say it? This is all biblical prophecy, man. And like I said, financial collapse is inevitable. This is just startup. And this all leads towards the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. This all leads to the kingdom of Yasha Allah, like it says in verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. You see, so this is all leading to the kingdom that shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people. You see, so these people that are ruling right now, divided rulership, the Roman Empire, Greek Empire, those Cushites that were rulership back in the days, which are the Ethiopians and the Somalians, all of that is not going to come back, man. All of that is not going to come back. The kingdom that's about to be set up is not going to be left to other people. It's not going to be no joint rulership, It's not going to be none of that, man. Yasha Allah is going to be in power under Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. You see, so that's what's about to happen. Together with, of course, Revelation 17. Revelation chapter 17 verse 11. And the beast that was, which is the Roman Empire, and is not, Roman Empire is gone. The Roman Empire that was back then, during the time of Yahushai. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth, and is of the seven. Who is the seventh? The United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is the seventh. The UK. Because guess what? America comes out of the UK. That's why you had the British-American War, which is the War for Independence. That's how America broke off from the seventh and became the eighth. But the eighth is of the beast that is not, which is the Roman Empire. And go within perdition. Yeah, America's about to be destroyed with thermonuclear fire. Okay? Verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So that's what's happening right now. these nations are having rulership 1 hour with the beast. This is not literally 1 hour, but you know what the scripture says, one day with the Most High is as 1,000 years. So that 1 hour is what we are in right now. These nations are having joint rulership under the NATO. They have these meetings in Brussels, you know, where they can speak up about certain things, what they desire, whether it's going to happen or not. They can speak about it, you know. So to a certain effect, they have somewhat to say. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. What's their power and strength? The military might, the military forces, their bags of money. Their bags of money. But guess what? It's divided, man. It's a divided rulership. It's a divided rulership. So the UK leaving has a lot of consequences for the EU. You know? But under the NATO, still that power is gonna be divided. But on a financial level, economic level, UK has distanced himself. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Now if you look up the word elect in the Greek, it says electos, which goes into chosen. So eventually these nations are gonna make war with Yahushai, and Yahushai is gonna overcome them, you know, because he's gonna team up with the elect and the angels, and they are gonna fight against these nations. You see? So that is all. So what's going on right now is all leading to that, man. Now if we go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 3, it says this: in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders shall cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. So that time is coming, man. It's inevitable. This is the prophecy. And if you be like, why? What does this have to do with? What does this have to do with? Financial collapse. If we go to the etymology, so remember what it said: in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. The keepers of the house. Now let's look up economy. Household management. Let's go straight to the Greek word. Let me see. From Greek, oikonomia, household. Let me see. Oikos, house. So the keepers of the house. So that goes into economy. So that house, the keepers of the house are people that watch the financial status. And guess what? The article. What did the article say, man? The article said Alexander von Schoenberg says his country fears Britain as they face the reality of a resurgent UK. So guess what? This guy, he's probably a keeper of the house, man. And he's scared, man. He doesn't even have to be a keeper of the house. If he's up there in the parliament, if he's up there in the politics, they know about the economic consequences that are about to come. Hey, this beautiful, man, hailstones is coming down all of a sudden. You know, this soon this is gonna be brimstones, man. Because what is the main ingredient from nuclear missiles? Brimstone. You know, so this beautiful, man. I haven't seen hailstones this year as of yet. Now hailstones coming down, so that's good. You know, because prophecies is coming to pass. So Going back to Ecclesiastes 12:3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. So the economic people, the financial people that watch the highs and lows of the economic business. You know, they watch the stock markets. They look for their companies, which companies is gonna grow. You know, they are gonna tremble at a certain point because, you know, certain things, you know, are not going well, man. The economy is about to collapse. You know, so that's inevitable because why? It's in the scriptures. That's why. And we put our faith in the scriptures of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Dumbass. So it says, and the strong men shall bow themselves. So the time is coming that the strong men are gonna bow themselves, man. How are they gonna bow themselves? Because they are gonna be broken down. Rich men that sit upon billionaire companies, you know, they're gonna bow themselves, man. They're gonna be in terrible fear because of this economic collapse. That's the time that's about to come, man. And the grinders cease. Yeah, there's not gonna be a lot of work anymore, man. People is gonna stop working. If the money that they bring in is worth nothing, guess what? The people is gonna be, what the fuck is this, man? Hey, the hell with this, man. I'm working 40 hours a week and I can't even provide for my family, man. Bread is gonna cost top euro. That's called hyperinflation. You know, all these things is about to happen. You know, we can see it in the news, man. Brexit, Germany in terrible fear, the consequences of the UK leaving. You see? And the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows, because they are in the house, they are in the economy, you know, oikos, household, and those that look out the windows be darkened. You know, and we know what that means. If we go to the book of, let me think, the book of Jeremiah. Let me see, it's in the book of Jeremiah. You see? This is an example. Jeremiah 8:21. For the hurt of the daughter of my people am I hurt. I am black. I'm astonished. It's like astonishment had taken hold of me. So the representation of the word black is because it's because of the astonishment, man. It's because of the fear, the trembling. You see? Because if you look up the word astonishment, the word there is shama, waste, horror, wasting, desolation. You know? So they see that the economy is about to get messed up, man. So guess what? The financial leaders and the financial people, they are about to see a great crisis, man. The crises that have been there are nothing compared to the times that are coming, man. They are nothing compared to the things that are about to happen in the society. You know? So that's what's about to happen. And, you know, you see her face is troubled, man. You see her face is troubled, man. We you know, beautiful days is about to come upon the land, man. So yeah, man, with that, I want to say Kal Alayim, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bashem Kodash. Shalom to the elect out there that's spreading this word of sincerity and the truth. Stay strong, keep the faith, and keep pushing, man. Shalom.